But Allah is testing us. He is testing us. And we are being tested to the hilt right now. Go all over the world. Look at the condition of the Muslims. Don't let the fancy, posh life of London fool you. Look at the condition of the Muslims. We have some serious problems. And I'm not telling you what I read in a book and read on CNN. This past year I've traveled almost everywhere in the Muslim globe. Since the last time I was with you. I've traveled east to west, north to south, Middle East to Asia. I've been all over. We have the same problem. We're failing the test. We're failing the test miserably because we're becoming too focused by what's going on around us. Too focused on what's going on around us. It doesn't matter what's going on around us. Because the conditions that we live in are set by Allah alone. If you're living in a rough condition, it's because Allah has legislated it to be so because of something that you've done. Because of something that you've done. Because Allah says, I will not change the condition of a people until they change. Meaning that the good condition Allah created you in will not become bad unless something becomes bad in you. And the reverse is the same. I will not reverse that condition until you change what is inside of you. We have to wake up. The change is not going to happen out there. It's not going to happen out there. I'm trying to tell you all that right now. You cannot change your condition by going out there. The change has to happen in here. Has to. It has to. I don't care if all 2 billion Muslims of the world stood up right now and said we've had enough of the oppression. We've had enough of the tyranny. We've had enough of it. We're done. If their hearts were not in favor with Allah, they would never succeed. Never. We would all be humiliated miserably. But if Allah was satisfied with even enough of us, then He could do whatever He wishes to do. He can change our condition. We need to tell our children this. Put their trust in Allah Azza wa Jal, dedicate themselves to Allah and His Messenger, and Allah Azza wa Jal will not only show them a way out, but He will make them a way out. As Allah says in Surah Al-Isra, those who fear Allah, Allah will make for them, create for them a way out, and provide for them from means which they had no idea. So tell them, forget about what's going on out there for right now. Let's fix what's going on in here. Because if we fix what's going on in here, nothing out there is going to make any difference because we're going to be successful. No matter what's going on out there. But if we're always focused on what's going on out there and don't fix what's in here, won't do anything but get worse. So inshallah ta'ala, we can give our children some hope, showing them that they have beautiful examples to follow. Beautiful example to be followed in the life of not only the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but the lives of those young men and women who dedicated themselves to this deen, and they changed the whole world as we know it. And if change happens again, and this is not only my statement, but the statement of some senior scholars from all over the world, if change is to happen again, it will begin with the youth. It will happen from the youth. It will. Change began, if you go look through the history of not only the life of the Prophet ﷺ, but all prophets and messengers. It was their youth and the youth that always made the substantial change. It began with the youth because the Prophet ﷺ said that which rectified the beginning of this ummah is what will rectify the end of this ummah. And what rectified the beginning of this ummah was youth that were dedicated to Allah and His Messenger. And they showed it with their actions. That's what's going to have to happen if we want to see the end rectify itself again. So inshallah ta'ala, I look forward to, hopefully I haven't been too out front and I actually will get an invitation back inshallah. But I have to be honest with you, I didn't spend 4 hours on 4 trains taking an excursion all over the Ugandan kingdom to come down here and water things down for you. Came here to tell you the truth so that perhaps somebody can change and that person can spark a change in this community that will indeed spark another change that can change everything inshallah. So if I have done so, I have done my job, and the reward from that and the praise for that belongs to Allah alone. But if I have faulted and made mistakes, which is quite surely the case, then it is from myself and my own shortcomings and lack of knowledge, and I ask you to forgive me for it now, so that I don't have to ask you to forgive me for it on the day of judgment, inshallah. وأقول قول هذا وأستغفر لكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم وأخوان دعوان والحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Oh, and outside, as you all know, I always come, I bring my DVDs. I have produced some new ones. All of them now we're producing in HD because now we have a studio, alhamdulillah, we're doing things, trying to do things the right way. So there's some new productions outside. Inshallah, please go out there and get them. They're £10 each, and no, the DVD doesn't cost £10, but the £10 is what I put on it so that I can continue to do this. I continue to make DVDs, send them out, spread them, continue to put on these TV stations that are multi-million-dollar a year projects, and this work continues to go forward. So come out and get them. All of them are just for this masjid, and that's it. So you take them all, inshallah ta'ala, and please support with whatever you can, because all these proceeds go for this work to continue to spread on. And I'm not trying to make my work spread on. We're creating enterprises and situations to where when I'm gone, our youth have something they can involve themselves in. They have a platform ready for them. They have a position ready for them. So if they want to get involved in this noble work, they can do it honorably and professionally, inshallah ta'ala. That's my only goal. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah khair, Yusha Evans. Before we open the floor for Q&A, maybe I'd like to give us just a snippet for about 1 minute about the television stations and the dawah that is involved in North America. And that's for that reason, that's why we are doing this collection. Please donate generously. Jazakumullah khair. Just 1 minute.
Well, I told you some of the projects when I was last here. Alhamdulillah, in the last 2 years, we opened up one fully functioning satellite television station in America that is broadcasting the truth about Islam to the best of our capacities, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in English, all over North America. All over North America. And it's on, and the reach is 500,000 people a day. That's the outreach that it reaches out to. Over 500,000 people see this every single day. And the numbers are staggering at how many people are watching. I also started another project, because the Guidance TV project is for non-Muslims, directly for non-Muslims. I created another project, alhamdulillah, by the name of Allah, called One Ummah TV, which is going to be a project that is focused on educating Muslims and our youth, especially. It is a global project that is viewable online. You can go to oneummatv.com. You can, here in America, I mean, if you guys start getting those smart TVs, they started selling smart TVs here now, yeah? The ones that are connected to the internet, that have applications. And there's something in America called Roku Box and Boxy and Western Digital. Whenever that stuff becomes more worldwide, we're on that as well. And it's viewable on your iPhone, it's viewable on your Android. You can go to the oneummatv.com website and get the app for watching it on your iPhone, Android or iPad or whatever platform you can have. And this one is for our Muslim audience and for our youth. And it is basically a TV station that travels with me. I take it everywhere I go. I just didn't bring it here this time because we're doing workshops and it's not the platform for it. But it's a studio I take with me, and we broadcast live on location in HD wherever I go, because everything we try to put out is quality. We're not caring about the quantity, it's about the quality. So we put out everything in HD, inshallah. So whenever I'm able to broadcast HD, we broadcast it HD live with live Q&A. I broadcast live 3 times a week with live programming where people can call in and deal with issues. It's not a fatwa Q&A show because I can't give them. It's a show so we can discuss issues and bring up relevant topics that our youth are dealing with, that they don't want to come and ask their imam, or they don't want to come and ask their mother or father. They can ask me anonymously and I can deal with it live on the air, inshallah. So that's what we're trying to do. And if I can't broadcast live, we record it and then rebroadcast it the same day. So it's either live or almost live, one or the other, inshallah. So these are projects that we're putting on, and these 2 projects are roughly about $3 million a year to put on. And the reason why we don't even think about the funds is because that's from the hands of Allah. Rizq was written by Allah 50,000 years before Allah created anything. That we're not worried about. We want to create a platform where our youth have something to be proud of. Where if they want to get a job later on, we will have a job for them. If they want to be involved in da'wah, we can involve them in da'wah the right way, professionally. They can come and get a job. They can be hired, professional, doing work that is pleasing to Allah, and as well as earn a living. So that if they want to do da'wah, they don't have to do da'wah at the sacrifice of their family and their children, and living in the most slum of conditions, can barely put food in their mouth or their family's mouth. That's not the role that the da'i should have. The da'i and the du'at have always had a noble role in this deen. If you doubt that, go back in our history and look. There have always been people legislated under the Islamic State to do da'wah, and these people were taken care of. These people were given honorable positions, and they didn't have to worry about anything other than the job that they were trained and good at doing. So that's something that another legacy I want to leave for this world, because I'm tired of hearing people involved in da'wah being questioned about what is your real job. If someone tells you their job is da'wah, they don't have time for anything else. Let me tell you that right now. Because da'wah is consisting of about 7 professional fields that you need to be good at. You need to be good at at least 7 professional fields to be a good da'wah. And it takes a lifelong of dedication and a lot of work and a lot of training and professionalism. So I'm tired of that atmosphere of being asked all the time, well, what is your real job? It's just very funny. So I'm trying to change that attitude so that if people understand that your work is da'wah, this is a person that you need to give some attention to. This is a person you need to put some support behind. This is a person we need to put in an honorable position within our community, because he's the one that's going to change things before anybody else. Inshallah. Jazakallah khair.
On your way out, I'm going to give you a CV. Yes, can we just take about 2 or 3 questions before we stop for Adhan? Abdullah?
Different Jaffa who passed away in the battle of Mu'ta on Rwanda. I'm confused. Which one?
Repeat the question again.
I'm wondering. I said about Jaffa Ibn. I don't know if
it wasn't Jafar ibn Abi Talib. No, it wasn't Jafar. Jafar ibn Abi Talib died much later.
He died in the battle of Mu'ta.
Yeah, he died much later on.
Yeah, battle of Mu'ta.
Yes.
And this one is called
Jafar. Trying to remember the last name. Jafar. Hamza. I might have even misspoken. Might not even have been a Jafar. I can do that sometimes. If I misspoken, I misspoken. Sometimes I can get incidents mixed up. I'm apt to quote a name out of place at many occasions. Inshallah.
We have a question from the sisters here. Is it better for a sister to get married or to study her deen? And the other part is that the sister here, she's being in conflict between a brother wants to get married to her, but she just wants her to be a mother and a wife, and she wants to go and study Islamic studies. So please help. It's a call for help.
Okay. There should be no real conflict, and there should not be a choice between getting married or studying. That shouldn't be a choice that a sister should have to make. A sister who leaves on her own should leave on her own in the company of her husband, because a sister alone in today's world is not okay. It's not okay, sisters. It's not. You need to have a husband to protect you, to be by your side, to defend you, to keep you away from all of this fitna that is focused heavily on our sisters today. And your husband should be someone who pushes you to excel, pushes you to study more. If your husband doesn't teach you, then you did not choose a very good husband. These are things that you should know well up front, because a husband should be concerned about the welfare of his wife, not only feeding her and clothing her, but the welfare of her akhirah. That she should be taught, she should be knowledgeable, she should go forth and be able to teach her children properly. And if the only thing her husband wants is for her to cook and clean and take care of the children, sister, you probably don't have a home and children yet. When you have a home and children, that's pretty much a majority of the work is cooking, cleaning, and taking care of the children. If a man didn't have a woman to do that at home, he would be incapacitated. Basically, and it's worth about 4 salaries of any professional job. And one thing that our sisters always talk about, but the sister should not be discouraged from being involved. If she wants to go to the masjid and involve herself in Islamic studies, her husband should not prevent her to do so. If she wants to be involved in da'wah for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jalla with her free time, husband should not stop her from doing so. But for sure, sisters, one of the greatest things that you can do for these for these next generation of du'at is raise them upright. Raise our children correctly. Because if we are having children coming up, and the generation of youth that are coming up today is a little bit weak, a little bit too watered down, as I'm trying to be nice about it, then sisters, you're going to catch the first blame for it. You're going to catch the first blame for it because you were the first institute of learning for our children. The majority of mannerism that they will get from you. They will get from your mannerism because that is going all over the place. Here, there, back and forth. He's home sometime to teach his children, then he's out if he's doing his job. You are the person whom your children are going to learn from more than anything. This is why Jannah is at the feet of mothers, not at the foot of the father. The father's running all over the place. The mothers have to be responsible for taking care of the children and raising them up correctly. This is a big responsibility, sisters. And if you look at it as a burden, please change that thought process. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, if a woman, I'm trying to remember exactly how many things it was. If a woman were to please her Lord with her mandatory acts of worship, and she were to be pleasing to her husband, and she were to meet a death where Allah is pleased with her and her husband is pleased with her, then she will be told, enter through the gates of Jannah by any gate that you choose. Any gate that you wish. That's it. Just pick a gate and go in. Jannah is yours. So, sisters, realistically, Allah Azza wa Jalla has given you a huge responsibility that comes with great reward. As well as Allah has given a man a huge responsibility that comes with a great reward. Neither one are the same, and neither one are in any aspect making one lord over the other. We each have our own position, our own means, within our own capacity. And we must, inshallah, strive to do them. Because if the man and the woman are doing the same thing, there's going to be problems. There's going to be problems. And just because a man does it, sisters, doesn't mean it's the greatest thing in the world to do. I don't know what changed in the world to where if a man does it, that's better to do than what I'm supposed to do. Nothing makes what we do so great, believe me. There's nothing in the world that makes doing what a man can do any greater. And that's an idea that unfortunately has been thrown into our sisters' understanding and the women of the West understanding. That if a man can do it, I can do it. If you want to be equal to a man, or if you want to be equal to a man, that's something you have to take up with someone with much greater authority than anybody walking on the face of the earth. So inshallah, sister, you can find a husband that lets you excel in your deen, encourages you to do good, pushes you for da'wah, but also gives you the opportunity to become a mother and a wife pleasing to Allah Azza wa Jalla. And Allah knows best.
Now, Abbas, please insert your question, I think.
How long can a sister go to Asia?
Sorry?
How long can a sister who wants to get married?
How long what?
I wanted to get married. And she's been taking the right to get guilty because of Ayatul Dunya. They don't bring the evidence to what they did say or what the Sunnah said. And their mom wanted to compromise with that life. Really wants to someone she wants to get married, not to move into it. How does that take when she can compromise with that?
I understand.
We didn't understand the question. Maybe inshallah if you can come later on and answer.
Come over here.
Afterward, inshallah, I'll talk to
Yeah.
you. Inshallah. Catch me after the salah.
There are several questions here, but because the time for salah is almost coming up, how do mature women get married when the majority of Muslim men want to marry very young women or many young girls? I think you should have spoken about marriage.
Yeah, I think so.
So maybe inshallah we'll try to make the next question, the next session to be about marriage. Today's session was about Musa'b bin Umair, which inshallah we thank the speaker for his diligent way of presenting, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward him for coming all the way, inshallah, and put it in Mizan Hasanat. Please don't forget your lead collection for the projects of Yusha Evans in America, in particular his TV stations and his da'wah work. We're still collecting, and sisters as well are collecting. And on the way out, don't forget to get a CD. Jazakumullahu khair.